Well, hey everybody, and welcome to Senior Living Live. We are so happy to be with you today. My name is Chris, and I am your host. And we're in a little bit of a different location, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about Senior Living Live. If you've never joined us before, this is a show that is all about senior living. This is about what it's like to live in senior living, what it's like to kind of goes behind all of the scenes. Our goal is to pull back those curtains and answer your questions so that you can ultimately live the life that you want to live. That is our mission. So I am here today with a fabulous group of people. I'm here with Jerry, Janice, and Brooke. I wanted to call you Becky for a second there. I don't know why. I guess I just saw the B on your name tag. And we are at the Arbor at Bridge Mill, and we're talking about what's making senior living so special. You see the title on the screen there of the show that I think we're done with our pre-show, so we can probably take that away. But we are here, not in our normal location, because last night these guys had their grand opening. And we actually did a live broadcast of Senior Living Live from this location, from these chairs right here. Some of these folks, Jerry joined us. The other two were a little busy doing other things with the grand open, the 007 theme. But if you head over to seniorlivinglive.com, you can see all of our past episodes, including the special show that we did from these very seats last night for this grand opening. And so we had all the equipment here, we had the people here, so we figured let's go and do another show. So,
like fun.
How are you doing today?
Doing great.
Are you
Doing
recovered
great.
from your grand opening?
Yes, a little bit tired, but we had a wonderful time and we really enjoyed it. Most of all the residents had a big time. They've been telling us all day.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. And it was just wonderful to celebrate them and to celebrate you all and this community. I mean, it is gorgeous here. I really encourage you at home to go back and look at that show. You can see some glimpses of this community. So we're at the Arbor at Bridge Mill, which is in Canton, Georgia, right?
Correct.
And when did your first residents actually move in?
Well, we had kind of a two-phase opening. The cottages were ready before the main building here. But December 4th was one of our first big days moving people into
year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, so it's been several months now, and so this has sort of been the culmination of the whole opening process.
Yes,
right?
It's been awesome.
Good. So I guess before I get too far, I got ahead of myself. Let me introduce, this is Jerry. Jerry Rick is the executive director of the Arbor at Bridge Mill. So he's the captain of the ship here, and he's running the show. And then we've got Janice, who's our engagement director here. And then Brooke, not Becky, is the senior care counselor. So Janice, let me turn to you real fast. As engagement director, what do you do? What does that mean?
Oh boy, we do a lot. We do really. We're trying to get everyone. We're focusing on trying to have deep connections with everyone that's in this building. So what that means is we get to know our residents a little bit. I write the calendars and build the calendars based around what our residents want to do. So we might be playing pickleball or happy hour or bingo, working in the art studio. Every day is something different. Today they're going to Gibbs Garden. Even after our big celebration last night, we got a team that's taking them out to Gibbs Garden, and then happy hour later on this afternoon where we'll be playing some cornhole and some games. So just keeping everybody active and connected.
There is always something going on here and in all of our senior living communities in the Arbor Company. The pickleball, I had the opportunity to see that. That is cool. I've never seen it. I didn't know what it was.
I didn't know what it was either
I mean,
until we learned.
What do they say? It's a cross between like ping pong and tennis, or something?
Yeah.
It is so cool. And I know the lady that we saw playing it, I mean, she
was 90 years old.
90 years old, and she's out there.
Whack that ball, right?
I think it is so amazing to see. And you know, we see that every day in all of our communities. People doing things that they didn't think they could do, or people just like stepping out of their shell. You know, maybe you live by yourself for a long time. You kind of get tied in, and
that's really the biggest thing, stepping out of the shell. Because a lot of our residents will say, "Well, I never did that before," and I say, "Have you ever wanted to paint a picture or something?" You don't have to be good. It's not about what you're accomplishing. It's about us all being together. We get to learn. We laugh a lot. We have a lot of laughs, don't we? Jerry will walk into a room sometime. He's like, "What's going on here?" Because
they'll be playing bingo, and I'll just yell bingo. They're like, "No, we're not there yet." So I just like to have fun. Yes, exactly.
Mess with them.
And the other part is when they're doing activities or they love the music. well, I haven't danced in years. Well, come on, let's get
Come
up and
on,
dance.
it's
So we'll
time to
dance with them
dance.
in the moment for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they just love it.
One of the things that I love is that it opens the opportunity for them to do the things that they used to do as well. So we have a number of residents that say, well, I used to, and I just don't anymore. And being in a community with other people and having opportunities to do it again in an environment that they feel safer to do it, that they didn't at home, has just kind of really livened them up again. And it's so amazing to see. And I love that. I love when we get to see people coming out of their shell and then the family members making comments about it. Wow, mom hasn't done that in so long, or dad hasn't done that in years, and now it's a normal everyday thing for them. Painting is a big one that we've seen, and I love that. It makes it feel even more like home for people, and to be a part of that is amazing.
Henry and Barbara are a good example of that.
gardening.
Oh, yeah, the
They
gardening.
moved from 15 acres, ATV, used
Big
to play, big
Oh,
farm,
wow.
played every day in the farm. They come here. I happened to meet Henry. We started chatting. He told me that he kind of missed the man things in life, that ATV and having some fun in his garden. Just happened to be a day that I was tasked to plant some flowers. So I said, Henry, come out. I need your help. And we spent the best day together, and at the end of the day, I had pulled out the golf cart so we couldn't go off road, but we had a great time. Throw the walker in the
fun.
back and let's go. And he just said, Janice, God brought me here because that was one of the best days of my life. So to hear a man in his 90s say that, oh,
Yeah.
it makes my heart.
It really touches
sing.
you. That, to me, that gets to the heart of something that we talked about. So on the show last night, we had Judd Harper, who is the president of the Arbor Company, talk about what makes the Arbor Company so special. And one of the things that he said, and that we talk about in our training here, and pretty much all the time, is deep connections. That's what we call it. It's making deep connections with the people who live in the community, with their family members, with our staff members, really with everybody we come in contact with. But that's what you were doing right there, is you were making a deep connection with him. You were kind of getting to the root of what makes him tick, and then being able to respond to that. That, to me, I mean, we titled the show, What Makes Senior Living So Special. That, to me, is what it is.
And we hear families tell us all the time, like, my mom hasn't done that forever, and I've never seen her so happy. Because sometimes people they wait too long to move into a community. They think that they have to be more frail or need more care. When other folks come to us, this is the best decision I ever made. I can't believe I waited so long. And the daughter's like, this is amazing. I never thought she'd come. It's just it's a true blessing to see these people. They come here to really thrive and enjoy life to its fullest.
That is, enjoying life to its fullest, I think, is a huge piece of it, because it's like, how do you know if you're enjoying life to its fullest, right? So Brooke, you talk to a lot of people, in their homes, who are maybe considering a move here. What do you see that like, do they automatically see the benefits of moving here, or do they realize it once they get here?
Not
That is
automatic.
a great question. No, they don't. Most of the time, they will have a mindset, as Jerry was saying, that they'd rather wait until they get to a point of when they need that help every day. And what I help people to realize is that if you wait until you need it, you're actually going to lose quality of life that you could have. And that it's not so much even about the number of years, but the quality of time that you have left, whatever that is. But I can tell you from doing this for the number of years that I have, when people make that decision to move into a community while they're still independent and able to do, they thrive so much more, because oftentimes they find that they're isolated. And it's not because that's a choice they've made, it's just life. It happens. And so they don't have to go to work every day anymore. So they're not being engaged with other people on a regular basis. Or they may find themselves alone for one reason or another. And even more so, they're isolated. And going to the grocery store, going to church once a week is just not enough social engagement, even for those people who are introverts. It's just so important to be active, emotionally, phically, spiritually, and socially. I mean, it's so big. And so to be in a community and helping people to realize it is, it's not an easy thing to do, but I feel like in a community like this, it's very, it's a bit more simple, because we often invite people, come have lunch with us. come
Yeah.
spend a day, have an activity, see what the community's like, and see that it's not just somewhere to spend the rest of your days. It's somewhere to live and enjoy. That's a big thing for us.
Yeah, and we've gone as far as having people spend the weekend with us. We'd say, try the experience, give it an opportunity. You know, the nice thing about our building also is that when folks come on the independent side, they're in our Arbor family. Then if they need more help down the road, we can meet with the family, meet with the nurses, and say, maybe this person does need some assisted living, but we already know them. The environment is the same. You know, we have the same kind of structure back in the assisted living and the memory care area. So we all know these folks from day one when they come in, and we help to find them the best living situation for them.
Yeah, and I think that we talk about on this show a lot where people want to, if they're considering a move to senior living, what is their next best step? And they're trying to do research online, and they're trying to just like ask friends and family and that kind of stuff. The fact of the matter is that most people have never done this before, right? Like you only grow old once, and you know, and this industry, senior living, really didn't exist 30 years ago.
Correct.
And so it's kind of, we're in this sort of new generation of things. And the advice that I tell people who are watching right now and on this show all the time is call people like Brooke and Jerry and get a feel for the community. Come in for a test day. You got to see it really to believe it, and don't wait for that crisis to happen, right? Because then you're making a decision out of the need for, it's out of an emergency, right?
And your opportunities are kind of limited then.
Well, and then and forgive me, but it's no longer a choice. It's an obligation. And when people come in, when it's their choice, and they can say, oh, wow, this could be home. This feels like home. This is somewhere I'd want to be. There's less resentment. There's more willingness to be a part and to engage. And so it makes the whole process so much easier for somebody. But we really do want people to try it, to be exposed, to see, to meet the people, and to know that in a community too, it's not just the residents. I mean, we as a team, we talk about deep connections with our residents. We want deep connections with each other too, because the reality is we're a family. I mean, we tell people all the time that you come in, you've now become part of our family, and this is what we want to be able to do for you. And it just, I think it gives a lot more comfort to people to know that we're going to look out for you, and whether it's the resident next door or a team member, we're all there together, and it just, I think it lifts people up a lot more.
Every day the residents say to us, you give us so much, you give so much. And we say, really, they give a lot more to us than we give to them.
Right,
that
hug.
Really feel that.
That hug and that smile, and just, you know, to see how much fun and the enjoyment that they had last night is just amazing. I mean, I call it just a true blessing. To help people, certainly we all need to pay our bills, but it's like, this is what I really am supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know a lot of people in senior living that I've talked to, people who've kind of recently moved their careers have come from places like hospitality and things like that. And, you know, on the outside, I thought this before I came to senior living. I'm like, well, it's a lot like a hotel, right? Or it's a lot like an apartment complex or something. But it really is sort of the mixture of all of those. I mean, at a hotel, people go home.
Right.
This is everyone's home. And it has a total different feel. I mean, yeah, we talk about resort style living, and there's a pool, and there's the gym, and there's all these great amenities and everything like that. But ultimately, it's, home is where the heart is, right?
Oh, and to that point, just to share how different it is, I think, than from a hotel feel or an apartment complex, a standard type of thing. When I have the privilege of introducing anybody to the community, and I get to walk by one of our residents, I get to stop. They know I better stop and give them a hug. I mean, you don't get that in hotels.
No, that's
you don't get that.
That would be weird.
Exactly. But just kind of go to the heart of it being family, that these people make it worth coming here every day. It doesn't feel like work. It's a true blessing.
And that's how deep we feel about it. I mean, I get emotional as well. And when we're walking by these families, we don't have to prep them or anything. They'll be like, this is the best place. Come on, visit us. I could tell you, come on, have lunch when we're right now. We have Roz, we have some resident ambassadors that do that. And it's just amazing to see how much they really do appreciate it and enjoy it, and that they want other people to come and enjoy it with them and be part of our family.
Yeah, and we do these videos and we do advertising, of course, and stuff. And I could see how someone, watching this or just, thinking about senior living in general are like, of course they want us to move in. It's a business and things. And I mean, yeah, it is a business, but I mean, these emotions that you guys are feeling right now and that you feel every day, that's real. And it's, we are a business or not a business. We're changing people's lives who live here. And so I think that first of all, I'd like to commend you for what you do every day and coming in and working with our residents and the staff and making this place truly a home for everyone. It is fantastic.
They're changing our lives too.
Really, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
that's
you
good to hear.
You can't add the benefit. I mean, they're all our grandmothers or moms or whomever.
Kind of hard to explain, put
It
into
is.
words, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
friends, yeah.
So,
Our grand friends.
so let's, as we're kind of getting close to wrapping up here, let me ask one question to each of you, or you can all kind of answer as you want. But what's the one piece of advice that you would give to someone who, maybe they're on the fence? Should I consider senior living? Should I pick up the phone and call? What do you wish they knew?
I would say it's not just to look on the internet and judge everything by what you see in a picture. And what we would like you to do is just come and talk to us. This might not be the place for everybody, but we're just here as a resource for the community. Here's what we understand after doing this for years is, here's the information that you need to ask, and here's the other information that you should ask other communities to make your best choice. And we're here to walk through those steps with anybody, whether it's downsizing or selling their house. We have people in the industry that do all those things, and they're partners with us because we vetted them. So it's just have the conversation. We have no pressure sales. We know that the community is very lovely. It's more just like you were saying earlier about the people. And just come and see the people here, not just myself and Brooke and Janice, but our other residents and our other team members, and you'll see and feel the love.
We heard that last night from Judd when he was talking
I
about
saw
the
that.
people is really what makes a difference here. We think it makes us stand out. So,
Yeah.
Ladies?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Or I can just say, just come and play for an afternoon. And you'll
come play
see.
some pickleball.
Come to
right?
have happy hour.
Pickleball,
Yeah,
come
happy
plant a
hour.
garden,
Get a beverage.
paint a picture, do whatever, and come enjoy and get that connection. It's so important.
Along that, I mean, I think every bit of it, as you can tell, connection is such a big deal. So what I recommend to anybody is that you do look around. You go look at different places. Jerry is very quick to say, ask these other questions. We want to be a resource for people, but more importantly, when you walk in somewhere, you can feel a difference. And in some places you walk into and you say, wow, this feels like home. Others you walk in and go, something just doesn't feel right. So what I really recommend is before it's necessary, or as people like to
Don't
say,
wait
don't
too long.
don't wait too long. Start looking ahead, seeing what's out there, but it is all about the feel. It is not just the bricks and mortar. It is what is the atmosphere, every bit of that. So that's my biggest piece of advice is to look around and
Yeah,
get
and you
a
can't
feel.
get that feel from photos.
No.
Right? I mean, you can get a feel for like, yeah, I like that carpet or
Right.
not. But you guys have some interesting carpet here. It's beautiful,
We
but
do.
it's
different.
a little
It's
different than what you'd
contemporary.
see. But
Yep.
but this community, the Arbor Bridge Mill, is the newest community in this area, and so that's appealing to a lot of people. We have other communities that we operate that are not the newest communities. I mean, we have some communities that we operate buildings that are 30 plus years
Right.
old, and of course they're very well upkept and they've been remodeled and all of this kind of stuff over time. But we hear a lot of times from people who will go and tour the competitors, which we tell everyone to do, is tour everybody in the market, and then they'll come back to us and they'll say, I like the look of that place better, but I like the feel of it here.
Right.
And you guys, and likewise, somebody might move to another community because that's not one of ours because they like the feel there better. I mean, it's all about whatever works best for you. You got to think that through.
It's really, the arboriculture is just not some words on a board or somebody made up. It's how we interact with people every day with integrity and just those deep connections that we talked about. And you can't make that up. People feel it or they don't. And I believe that, every community has, as Brooke was kind of saying, a feel, I call it like a culture of warm lovingness. And it's just really, just like Judd was saying, you're saying, it's the people in the building. It's not the building. The aesthetics are beautiful. We have, state of the art, pretty much everything. But you can't get that feeling by looking at the beautiful swimming pool.
Right.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'd love to
and
host
for,
you.
for joining in. Now we've got all of our equipment. If only you could see all the equipment that we have. What these people are looking at right now, you see the prettiness behind us. On the other side, there are cables and there's tripods and there's lights, and it's all got to get loaded up in my car. So I need to get going doing that. But again, thank you for this today. So for those of you who are watching at home, if this is your first time watching, first of all, welcome and thank you for joining our show. You can learn more about Senior Living Live, and you can watch all of our past episodes. This is episode number 19, if I remember correctly, not counting our special show last night. If you go to seniorlivinglive.com, seniorlivinglive.com will show you our past episodes. It's where you can watch future episodes. So we broadcast every Friday at around 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We did it a little bit early today, so we're keeping you on your toes. But around 11:30 or 11 a.m. Eastern Time on every Friday, and we kind of have a general topic. Like today, we talked about what makes senior living so special. That's more of a general topic, but sometimes we dive deep. Brooke, you were on the show. What did we talk about then? We talked about
financial support.
That's right,
different-
financial
yes.
stuff. So yeah, that's really important to people, and so we talked about that. And what we want to do is, again, answer the questions that you may have and help you live the life that you want to live. And hopefully these shows will do that. Leave a comment below this episode. This is also, by the way, the first time that we are streaming to, I think, a total of 42 Facebook pages at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
So hopefully it's so wherever you're watching, I'd love for you to leave a comment and let us know that you can even hear us and that it's working, and that the internet is it's this kind of cloud of mystery
Nobody
sometimes,
knows.
and no one knows if it's happening or how it happens. But let us know if you can hear us, and let us know in those comments what you would like to hear about in future shows. I mean, I would love to be able to plan and answer the questions that you have, and so we can bring on the right experts from the communities. I certainly don't have all the answers, but these people do, and or we know who to call to get that. So. Until next time, we will see you again, hopefully, on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern at seniorlivinglive.com. Thanks.